Hello everyone, this is second video on Terraform interview questions. Let's get into it. Number 1. What is Terraform validate command? What it does. Terraform validate command checks the syntaxes of Terraform code. Let's have a look. Running validate giving issue. It says invalid character provider.tf location line number 10. So there is a semicolon which is causing the problem. This is causing the problem. Remove it and run Terraform validate again. Yeah, now Terraform syntaxes are valid. Question number 2. How to create resources using a loop. Suppose I want to create multiple subnets using a loop. We have two options. Option 1 count, option 2 for each. This is going to create two subnets because I'm using count meta argument. Its value is 2. But two subnets cannot have same CIDR block. Let's change this. Let's put it in a variable. Have two CIDR blocks and pick one, first one for first subnet and second one for second subnet. Let's create variables file. Let's keep this 21, and here let's not hard code this. Var dot subsiders count dot index. Count is meta argument. It has built-in property index. Using count dot index on list, it gives first index for first subnet and second index for second subnet. Let's execute plan. It's creating three resources. One is VPC and second one is subnet 1 and third one is subnet 2. Also check its CIDR blocks. One is with 10.20.0.0, other one should be 10.20.1.0. In place of count, we also can use for each. We are using for each and iterating on list of subnet CIDRs. To access elements one by one, the syntax is each dot value. If we use for each on a map, we can access key separately as well as value separately. Let's try plan after switching to for each. We got an error. It says for each argument must be map or set of strings, but it is taking the data type as a tuple. Let's fix this. Go to variables. Type equals set of string. Try again. Yeah, it's perfectly working now. These two are the options available for creating resources in a loop. Next question is how to create a resource conditionally. Let's say I want a resource in dev environment and I don't want that in production environment. Let's see that. There is no direct way to use conditions. There is nothing like if else. We can use count meta argument. conditionally set either 0 for not creating a resource or 1 for creating a resource. Let's say var.env equals dev. I want resource to be created in dev, so if it is dev, return 1, else return 0. var.env must be there, okay, and based on its value either 1 or 0 is set to count. This is how we use conditions in Terraform. The next one, what are data sources? Data source in Terraform allows us to get data that is present outside Terraform context. For example, I want to get AWS account number, or I want to get AMI ID based on filters. Otherwise, I want to get list of availability zones dynamically without hard coding. All such things can be done using data sources. Let's use that right away in this example. Right now, we are creating, let me change this. Earlier it was for each, right? Let me change it back to for each. For each, var dot subnet siders. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to use availability zones. Right now, both subnets using same availability zone, but I want to use different availability zones for different subnets. What I want to do is I want to get list of availability zones dynamically using data sources. A data source basically uses this region and gets data specific to this region. Let me create a separate file, data.tf AWS underscore availability zones. Give a logical name. Let's call this AZs. This is to define a data source. Means now Terraform will get this information to us and it can be used in our code. Number one, we need to define it. Number two, we need to use it here. Yeah, data source type dot its logical name dot names. How do I know it is names? I will tell you. Let's get it from Terraform documentation. This is AWS underscore availability zones. Check its attribute reference, and if you see it has names, this provides list of availability zone names. So I'm using dot names. From this I want to get one by one, it's a list. I want to get first element for first subnet, second element for second subnet. For that I need to provide indexes. Indexes are available only for count. So in this case I want to replace for each with count. Count equals 2 so that I don't have to hard code this. Count dot index. Go to variables and subnet siders. There are 2, right? And we are creating 2 subnets and we are dynamically picking elements from that variable using count dot index. We can replace this hard coded 2 with the length of subnet siders. Length. This is much better. Why? Because adding one more entry to this, I don't have to change this logic because it's calculated dynamically using length function. Let's do a plan and see how this is giving an output. Let's clear the previous one. Let's execute Terraform plan. There is a problem. Okay, we are still using each dot value that we have to fix. because each dot value is applicable only when we use for each. We're not using it anymore. Yeah, on that subnet siders, it is not siders, we are picking it by index. Execute Terraform plan. It's giving error again. Let's check this. Okay, subnet siders. We need to change this to list probably and give a try again. Yeah, it's working. And cross verify availability zone. US East 1B and US East 1A. We are getting list of data sources based on current region, and we are dynamically picking those elements and using in the code. Let's see next question. What is local variable in Terraform? Local variable is a variable which is initialized within the code. We can't pass values from outside. We use local variables in specific cases. For example, here we are using the big expression like data dot availability zones dot azs dot names. We can convert this long expression into a local variable, and code can be simplified. Let's do this. Create a file, locals.tf. Locals, open close curly brace. Az underscore names, that is local variable name. Don't use count.index. This big expression returning list of availability zone names, that I am storing in a local variable, and we can use this local variable in the code. I don't have to write this long expression wherever I need availability zone names. To access a local variable, the syntax is local dot variable name followed by count dot index. Local variables are useful whenever we have long expressions. Maybe sometimes we want to store a variable based on calculating it, or we may want to use a function, expressions. In such cases, local variables are very handy. And we can't pass local variable values from the command prompt. It's not possible. We made changes, we added local variables. Let's do Terraform plan and cross verify. It's working fine. I ran Terraform plan, it's working fine. Okay, next question. What are differences between a normal variable and a local variable? The first difference, in a normal variable, we can't use expressions. This is an expression. Such expressions we can't use in a normal variable. For example, I want to set variable az names default. This is not possible. The main variables takes only simple text or direct values. We can't put functions, interpolations and expressions. That is first difference. The second difference is we can pass normal variables inputs from command prompt. For local variables, we cannot pass inputs from the command prompt. Local variables are computed variables. We can't pass inputs from the command prompt. Those are the differences between local variable and a regular normal variable. The next question, how to manage multiple environments such as dev, staging, production. Source code must be single and environments must be multiple. For this, we need 3 different state files, one for each environment. Dev should have separate state file, prod separate state file, and staging separate state file. So how to handle this, how to manage this? Terraform has a concept, workspaces. We can create multiple workspaces to manage multiple environments. Let's run Terraform workspace list command. There's a typo. Okay, so we need to fix this problem. Variables.tf line number 7. Of course, this is not valid. Remove. Yeah. When you set up Terraform project, you will have default workspace. Its name is default. Now I'll show how to create a new workspace. New. Let's call this stage. It created new workspace and it maintains new state file. Likewise, let's create prod. Now there are 3 workspaces: default, prod and stage, and it's going to maintain 3 state files. Remember that. If you see, prod, a separate state file, because we didn't execute, state file is not there. If we do Terraform apply, it creates a state file there, and stage will have a state file over there. That is how Terraform maintains multiple environments, multiple state files using workspaces concept. That's all for this video. I'll create one more video for remaining Terraform interview questions. Thanks for watching.